Hi, fifth grade scholars. Happy Monday. Um, Sorry I'm not there. Sorry I had to skip out so quickly the other day. It's part of the protocol when somebody that you have been close to tests positive, then you instantly leave your position so that others don't get sick or hopefully don't get sick. And that's what I had to do. And then I ended up testing positive, and I have been very, 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 very sick. But that's all over now, and I'm feeling better. But we are going to be at home learning for the next week. So it's just going to be a little bit different. So I want to go over a couple of things with you today. So as always, everything's going to be right here on Canvas. I wrote a couple of little notes here for you. Said sorry about this. You guys, there's a lot of guilt with it, and I'm sorry about it. And then I put on here, this is where our projects are at, and this is all our chapters for the books so that you can continue to read at home. So let's get right in here to Monday and see what I wanted to talk to you about. I know that working at home is not always the easiest situation. Sometimes there's noise in the background. Sometimes it's hard to concentrate when you're at home. So I have a couple of pointers. The first thing that I'd say is you have a computer that East Noble has provided for you to use, and I would suggest that you try to get into a place where it's nice and quiet and you're alone and you can concentrate on what you need to do for work. That's exactly what I do here at home. I got to sneeze. Maybe not. You know how this could happen? I do this at school. I come into the office, I shut the door. Dean is out in the other room watching TV, and that TV distracts me. So I literally have to close the door. And I'm going to show you there. See how that door is closed? And that's because I don't want to listen to that TV while he is out there. So I have to find that quiet area, and I'm hoping that that's what you guys will do too. So if something were to happen throughout the day and you weren't able to get everything done, I want you to know that these things in this red are highly important. These things go in the grade book, and these are the things that you have to focus on. Then the things over here in the blue are things that are super important in the way that they're building up and they're helping you understand what's going on in fifth grade and in our lessons. But they actually don't go in the grade book. So if you had to let anything go, let those go. But these are work dojo points. So I'm keeping track of the dojo points by who does the spiral and how many questions you get right and all of those things. So just like we do in school, but I'm trying to keep track of that. So know that 12.1 goes in the grade book. Writing freedom projects are due that Tuesday before Thanksgiving break, and you have 5 of them. And if you don't stay busy on them, you're not going to get them done. It's just too much work to try and get them done in 1 or 2 days, especially to get any kind of quality work. Your math practice page is, oh, that's your actual practice page. We're doing review this week, so that's going to go in the grade book because that's review from earlier on in the year, and that's going in your bio poem that you have to do today. So those 4 things are super important, and I will do this every day so that you can see this. Okay, then I have our Canvas page laid out just like it would be if we were at school for the day. You have your morning work. You have Spiral 8.1. You have 12.1 daily reading. I gave you a little clue in here because I went through and I read 12.1 myself, and I saw that, oh, it's going to ask you, it asks you a question about a preposition. And for those of you that don't remember what a preposition is, I gave you a couple of examples right here. So it's really important to read what is in each one of these boxes to help you get through your day. Okay, then I've asked you to read from Raz, and I've asked you to fill out a workbook as you read. If you notice up here, reading from Raz, it's not going to be scored, but it is highly important. Your job as a 5th grade scholar is to build up that reading and to understand different stories and different genres and different themes and messages, and to practice reading constantly. So you need to be reading from Raz, and we're doing the level up. So I want you to do that, and I'm going to show you what the book looks like. There, my Raz reading. This will be linked here in a little bit. Tomorrow, I want you to write the title of your book. You pick any book and Level Up. And I want you to rate it. Do you give it 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5 stars? Circle the number that you give it. If you were an author and you were in charge, what would you change about this book? Find something that you would change. Don't write the word nothing and think that you are done. That is not acceptable. So maybe you would change the pictures. Maybe you would change the title. Maybe you would change the length of the book and tell me why. Okay, just write something in there. Questions like this are to make you think, not to be able to write, oh, I don't think there's anything wrong. Nothing's wrong with this book. I'm just going to write nothing and be done. That's not, and we talk about that so much in class. That's not our goal, is to be a speed demon. Our goal is to think about what the question's asking us. So that's your question for today. Then tomorrow, I'm going to ask you to make sure that you pick out a nonfiction book, and I'm going to ask you to, again, to write what the title of it is. And I want you to write one fact that you've learned. Don't write, I didn't learn anything. Think of something that you maybe didn't know or didn't know all of those details, and go ahead and write that. Okay, let's go back to our Canvas page. So we go right down the list. Social studies, when you get to this one, it is, I put just a copy. I just made a picture or a copy of the picture and put it on here. You need to read Article 1 and Article 2. I can see that Article 1 is 3 minutes and 18 seconds long, and Article 2 is 1 minute and 19 seconds long. If you need to, listen to those multiple times. Don't just listen to it once and think that that information is in your brain. That information doesn't go into my brain that fast. And I totally know what the Albany Plan was. I mean, and that's something that you are here learning new. So you're going to have to read some of these or listen to it more than once. Once you get done reading these two, you'll obviously do the quizzes so that you can get your points for your hamster cage. And then I want you to answer the questions. I want to show you something up here that I'm not sure you all know, and that is if you click on this little piece of paper with the magnifying glass, it opens up a preview, just a picture that kind of shows you what today's assignment looks like. You can't actually write on this because it's a preview, but this is what you have to answer for today. So you can kind of look at this. What is the Albany Plan of Union? Ooh, you're going to have to be able to write that. Don't copy and paste, but be able to go back. And if I go down right in here, it's going to talk about that Albany was proposed by Benjamin Franklin and Thomas Hutchinson. They suggested colonial governments choose members of a grand council, and it goes on to talk about it. So then that's something that you're going to have to write up here. This is a matching. Question number 2, the President General would address what? You might have to go back and do your story to find it. What is the Treaty of Easton? A true and false question. Another true and false question. Number 6, a multiple choice. Number 7, a true and false. Number 8, multiple choice. And then you have to choose one of the following. The idea of all of these projects and all of this choosing is to help you be able to do the research and the understanding to know what we're studying. So if you choose a timeline, it's kind of been laid out for you. If you choose Flipgrid, that is where you pretend, you wouldn't even have to do it on Flipgrid. You could just use your camera like I'm doing, turn your video camera on and act like you're a news reporter and tell about the Pontiac Rebellion. Or you can draw a portrait of Chief Pontiac and write a 5-sentence description of him. So those are your options for today. Let me go back to the home page. You go back to Monday. Got a couple more things to go on. Writing freedom projects. Work on reading your book. I originally told you I wanted you to be all the way done with the book, all 10 chapters by Wednesday. So you still have a couple of days to be reading, and then you have to get busy on those projects. Absolutely no way that you can get all those projects done in quality work if you don't hurry. I mean, if you're hurrying to try and get them done. So 5 projects at 20 points for each project will give you 100 points and A+ in reading. If you only get 4 of them done, that's a B minus. And if you miss any points because you didn't do high quality work, you're instantly down to a C or a D. So you need to do 5 projects trying to get the full 20 points, which means you're using capital letters, you're using correct punctuation, sorry, and your sentence structure, you're putting some effort. All projects are due by the 24th, and the project list can be found here. Math, we are going to be doing review all of this week because then you are going to take a unit test of everything that we've learned up till this time. This is the end of the trimester. This is the time when we say, hey, what have these kids learned so far? So we're going to be doing some review, and today's review is standard and expanded form. There's a video here that Miss Anderson made, and then there's a practice page. The practice page does go in the grade book, so it has to be done and completed. Otherwise, it gets marked as a 0 and missing. Then the last thing you have to do is write a bio poem. And I wanted to talk about this just a little bit. When you click on bio poem, you're going to get a page that looks like this. What you have to do is make a copy. So you go ahead and click make a copy. And it's coming up. And I'm going to move this over a little bit so you can see that. So once you have your bio poem pulled up, what I want, see where it says copy of DS? Well, DS is Debbie Sherrick. So you're going to highlight this and you're going to put in your initials. So I would just put in DS bio poem and then I hit enter, and that now becomes mine. That way everybody's making their own copy of this poem. I'm going to show you a couple of things that will help you on this. This is kind of small writing and I can't read that. So how can you change that? Well, you can go right down here. If you drag that down, it makes it a little bit bigger. If that still isn't enough, go up to view and hit the zoom button. And you can go zoom 100%, and then that makes it a little larger, which makes it easier. Bio poems are about a person. You can write a bio poem about yourself or someone else. Well, bio meaning you're going to write about yourself. They're 10 lines long, and they follow a specific pattern. They do not rhyme. So that's a good thing. Today we don't have to do rhyming. So your first line says, put your first name. So of course for mine, I'm going to write Debbie. And it says 4 adjectives. Adjectives are words that are going to describe me. And I want you to use commas in between those because that's what a bio poem asks you to do. Remember how last week we talked about looking at examples of things and doing what an example shows us. So I see that they did 4 adjectives. They capitalized them all and they put commas between them. So I'm going to put creative, comma, loving, comma, teacher, comma, and what else? I'll put kind right now. I instantly want to start, oh, what cool words could I use to describe me? So I'm down to 3rd line. I look up here at line 3, son, daughter. Well, I'm not a son, I'm a daughter. So I'm going to write daughter of, and I'm going to put my dad's name and my mom's name. So that's how that one looks. Daughter, D-A-U-G-H, daughter of Jim and Mary Lou. Who loves, and let me look at the example, who loves drawing, dancing, and skating? Oh, who loves crafting, sewing, and creating? Okay, who fears? Oh, who fears? And now I need to write a couple things about things that I fear. So I think that you can see how this is getting done. Okay, and then when you get to the 2nd page, it says write another one. Remember to follow the pattern. And it gives you again the ideas. When you get this done, you will just be able to click out of it because it says DS. You've already named it. Once you're able to click out of it, then all you have to do is share it with Mrs. Sherrick and you're done for the day. Okay, now let me get back to my Canvas page. Let me get this moved over. There we go. So there you go. Click here, make a copy, type on it, and then you share it with me. And that's basically all you have to do for the day. Last thing I want to do is tell you that you may email me or Skype me at any time of the day that you want to. I will be on my computer, near my computer, and I am here to help you get things done. Let's have a great week. Let's make the best of being in quarantine and let's get our work done. See you soon.